Please, stop being stupid. All of this. Stop being dumb. Are we okay here? Is this okay? Okay, let's get on with the dang show here. Let's get on with the show here. I don't know if always how it's gonna look, so. I don't know if it looks okay or it looks bad. It looks, I don't know what it looks like, so. Come on.
As you marvel at the beauty of this season,
No, this one did not make it straight. This side made it straight.
This 4-video praise and worship series features scripture narration
Right?
from Moody Broadcasting's Mike Kellogg.
Praise the Lord, all your nations. Extol him, all your
No, it is the other way.
For great is his love.
I am very confused.
And the faithfulness
It is
of
this
the
way.
Lord endures forever. Praise the Lord.
Also enjoy your favorite hymns and songs from the student choirs and instrumental groups of Moody Bible Institute as you witness the handiwork of God displayed upon land
Whatever,
and sea.
not that
Seasons of praise.
Okay, great. Now we good? Are we here? We good? Is everything okay?
The master creator.
Come on.
Seasons of praise.
And?
Brought to you only by Moody Video.
Is everything okay?
Astronauts are often accused of not being able to express themselves very well when they come back about really what it's like to be up in space. And I think because when you look down at the Earth, you know,
Is it
the
too
word that
loud?
comes to
Should I
mind
turn it
when
down?
it's
Turn it up?
awesome,
What? Is it okay?
just are so completely surrounded by the majesty of God and His creation.
How beautiful are your works, O Lord. See how the master creator reveals himself through the glorious miracle of creation. Discover planet Earth. Be amazed by God's unique and diverse animal kingdom. And realize the miracles of
Oh boy.
human life. The wonders of God's creation. 3 award-winning videos that present dramatic evidence of God's creative majesty. Brought to you only by Moody Video. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands.
You see how this is like very Christian, very big, very in your like face? Look, it's God, God this, God that. Let's. Honestly though, if you pulled out the God part, if you pulled out this whole beginning part where it's like creation, God, whatever, and you pulled out all the parts that they talk about God, it's like every other old science thing that you watch and you'd be like, it's okay, you know? You know? It's like every old science thing you pull out and be like, it's questionably good. Like, it's all genuinely okay, generally okay, but it's like, not 100% sure if this is 100%, you know, fact. Like, you can use it all as fact, you know?
For the
But,
unforgettable journeys to the edge of creation. Brought to you only by Moody Video.
I mean, they're okay. They're mostly okay. For information on these or another Moody Videos production, contact your local Christian bookstore or call. You know those things when they assumed everyone just had, like every Christian bookstore just, oh yeah, we're gonna take your stuff up. So, are you? Are you really? Yeah. And then you go to your local Christian bookstore and they're like, they've never heard of it, and they're like, what are you freaking talking about? Like, what the hell are you talking about? Moody Institute of Science presents Empty Cities. Where's my second seat? That's good enough.
In spite of vast achievements in our modern, sophisticated world, there persists here and there a strange phenomenon. In countries otherwise prospering and advancing in technology, there are isolated groups of people living lives virtually untouched by the progress and civilization all around them.
Okay.
They use simple tools handed down through the generations.
Yeah.
They feed animals mouth to mouth.
Oh boy.
Even nurse them at the breast.
This is bizarre. This is really bizarre.
They live almost as animals.
Oh, but it gets even more bizarre. So this is nothing. Well, this is very, very bizarre, but like it gets very bizarre.
The brutal binding
This is probably the most bizarre though.
to change their shape.
Probably the most bizarre part of the
Would be an
whole thing.
unspeakable
It gets a
crime
little bit more like
on our
civilized. Like
society.
okay, you're actually like makes some
As
sense.
with
Like
the
this.
crude sharpening of teeth,
No,
or
thank
the
you.
tattooing of infants' faces.
No, thank you.
And yet
Ah!
these things are
Ah!
being done today
I don't like it.
for
Eh.
reasons incomprehensible.
You know that thing that you don't like this. You clearly don't like it. Like this is bad. But for some reason you can't stop looking at it. Though you're like,
you're
like,
epidemic. By chewing the starchy roots of certain plants,
Oh,
spitting
ugh.
the mash into a bag, a fermentation process is started which results in a contaminated but potent brew. Such things are common in many parts of our world, but why? Why these strange cultural phenomena in a day of scientific discovery and advancement? These things invite inquiry, study, and explanation. And the staff of Moody Institute of Science has journeyed to remote areas of the world by almost every available means to look for answers. To study the so-called primitive people and to record evidence of their strange ways of life.
strange is
Of
one way to
their
put it.
spiritual nightmare. Of lives dominated by witch doctors. Of lives that hang by a slender thread because of tribal and family feuds.
That's the
Because
thing.
of malnutrition.
There's some of those situations, right, where it's like
And the more
they're
we have
sophisticated or they're modern, but they're just up to a certain point, and then they're just sort of like they refuse to go anymore. It's like, okay,
what
like that guy
would
had a
you
gun,
call these
but
people?
he didn't go any more than.
Is this the noble savage? This the idyllic pastoral scene? Would you call these people primitives? It's a popular concept, has been since the 18th century.
Oh.
But think of the implications. Calling these people primitives implies that what they are, we once were. And what we are today,
A little bit
these
too
people
white.
with the passage of time will inevitably
But
become.
you never notice the little things like that
Further
on things because
implies
you're
that
like,
they have been
oh,
held
that's good,
back
until you do
by
something like
some
this, and then I'm like,
environmental factors, such as climate,
you know,
poverty, disease.
you're like, oh,
In other
like
words,
this
to
whiteout.
call
I
these
never noticed
people
this, but then.
primitives suggests that they have been
Cool.
caught to one side in an eddy and temporarily held back from the progress that is thought by many,
Oh no,
always
Toby
to
too.
accompany the
Okay, so
passage of time.
Okay, never mind. Yeah.
But is this true? How will such a belief stand up under investigation? Let's put it to the test.
Okay.
In Chiapas State, in the jungles of southern Mexico, near the Guatemalan border,
But this is the kind of
there's
stuff
a
that I
tribe
love. I
of
love this
people
kind of
known as
weird,
the Lacandon.
like videos of
The
like
Lacandons
weird
were once
old
regarded
things like
as
this, where it's
among
like,
the most primitive people
where it's kind of
on Earth.
questionable. Where you're like,
So we pose the question:
oh, this 100%.
are these people
Yeah.
starting their long upward
okay.
climb towards civilization?
This
Has
kind of
their
video. This is the
environment
definition of what I
held
like
back?
about, like, I like old things like this, where it's like,
Fortunately,
old
information
things.
is now available
So.
concerning these people. Their language has been studied, their customs, their physical characteristics, and authorities are agreed that the Lacandons are direct descendants of the once great and glorious Mayas. They live now where their ancestors lived centuries ago. They speak almost the same language. Their religion is obviously distorted and twisted, but they still hold sacred the ruins of ancient Mayan cities. was a time when hundreds of these cities were spread across Central America, along with thousands of smaller villages. Cities such as Decay, cities which were flourishing when Pompeii was buried. The Maya civilization was forming possibly as early as 1500 BC, but the culture reached its peak between 300 BC and 800 to 900 AD. It included the countries now known as El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, and British Honduras, plus the Mexican states of Chiapas, Tabasco, and Yucatan. Mayan ruins have been discovered throughout virtually this entire area. But even at their best, ruins are similar to the last pages of a history book. They tell us nothing of how it all began. And they give us only a
Come
glimpse,
on, open up.
only a hint
Phone.
of the glory which once must have been.
That's the other thing with the tapes, though, too. It does that, like, skip thing sometimes for a second. Which is fine, I guess. Come on!
Mayas produced an architecture that ranks high in human achievement. But the Mayas were not only accomplished architects, they were also astronomers and mathematicians of amazing competence.
Sure, whatever.
Over a period of hundreds or perhaps thousands of years, the Mayas kept the most detailed and accurate records of the movement of the sun, the moon, and the planets.
See, again, skipped.
Have you ever thought of all that is necessary to accurately predict the time and place of a solar eclipse? It's really quite a feat, and one which the Mayas had mastered thousands of years ago. In the Dresden Codex, one of the few remaining Mayan manuscripts, is a record of solar
No, I don't want
eclipses
this.
for a 23-year
Get out.
cycle. At the
Get
end of the cycle,
out.
the table could be used again.
Get out!
And what may be even more amazing is
Thank
the
you.
fact that they were able to compute the synodic period of the planet Venus with an error of less than 1/400th of a second per day. Those familiar with the highly complex celestial mechanics involved cannot but stand in awe of the magnitude of such an achievement. Some of this information was recorded in stone. Here in Old Chichen are the ruins of the Temple of the Initial Series. On the underside of this stone is an inscription. Actually, it's a date, July 28, 878 AD. This may seem like a lot of rigmarole just to record a single date. But incorporated in this inscription are a number of important facts about the Mayan people. First, it indicates something of their antiquity. This date gives the total number of days which had elapsed since the initial date in Mayan history, a period of nearly 4,000 years. The inscription also reveals something of the mathematical genius of the Mayans. In Mayan mathematics, dots are 1. Bars are 5. This number, 3 dots and 2 bars, is 13. With this in mind, it's easy to identify 10, 2, 9, 1, 9, 7.
I freaking hate
But there's
this.
something else here. A mathematical principle without which we would have no computers today. In mathematics, it's referred to as a positional system. Each time we step up a notch, we multiply by 20. This glyph is equivalent to 144,000 days. This brings us to the crowning achievement of the Mesoamerican culture.
No.
The concept of the zero. Western civilization didn't have the zero until the Middle Ages, when the Phoenicians brought it into
No.
use from the Hindus.
I give up, I give up, I give up, I
By
give up, I
that
give up.
time,
I'm doing this.
the Mayas had been using it for at least 1,000 years. Yes, the Maya civilization was truly astounding. They were a great people. among the ruins, we find clear evidence of moral decay. These pictures adorn the walls of the temple at Bonampak. Here we find the oft-repeated story of disregard for the value of human life. These are captives pleading for mercy, but they plead in vain. The Mayan ruler tells them they must die. Human sacrifice. Hearts were torn from people's bodies and
Ew.
offered still pulsating to the Mayan gods.
Okay, there we go.
Stone gods such as Chacmul, the Mayan god of rain. Idols thought by the later Mayas to have insatiable appetites for human blood.
Ew, boy.
In the final days of the Mayan culture, these became the faces of doom. People were slaughtered by the tens of thousands. In 1527, when Cortez's captain rode into Yucatan, he found a decadent society. With a handful of men, he conquered a vast number of people, a nation that had crumbled from within. And today, as we study these last pages which tell us not only of achievement, but also of decay, we can only imagine the orderliness of the society as it rose to greatness. But we no longer ponder the question, is the Lacandon a primitive? We now know he's a decadent, a dropout of a once proud people. The evidence indicates that the Lacandon is on his way down, not up.
Oh, okay.
And it's been a long, tragic descent.
Also, this is kind of stuff that you kind of wonder, was this all staged? Was this
But
stuff
now
staged?
we leave the jungles of southern Mexico.
Maybe?
and fly across
I don't
the
think so,
equator
but,
to South
you know, you're like,
America, to the country of Peru, to the land of the Andes Mountains. Here in this forbidding landscape of glaciated rock, valleys that rise to rarefied heights just below the mountaintop, we find another group of so-called
you're like,
primitive people. These are the Quechuas, who for the most part are content to spend their lives in servitude, caring for the possessions of others. There are some 5 million of these people, many of whom are addicted to the narcotic cocaine.
See, look here. And this? Right there, right there.
This is
I think they're
one
just
drug about which
eating
there is no
bags of
question.
cocaine. I think
It
it's just
destroys
bags
the
and
body
bags and
after
bags
life.
of cocaine. I think
It
so.
traps the user in a cycle which cannot be broken.
I think so. It's ridiculous. It's white powder coming out of a bag. They're spooning white powder out of a bag. What do you want it to be? What else could it be? Freaking cocaine.
Anesthetized to life.
It's cocaine.
So, we ask again, are these primitive people, or could these too be decadents? Where the city of Cusco now stands in this same country of Peru, the ancestors of the Quechua established the center of an empire which was to become legend. The realm of the Inca, one of the world's great civilizations. It is said that once this valley was a dazzling spectacle. Rooftops of gold reflected the sun in the clear mountain air. The city itself was connected to other parts of the empire by a complex network of roads, one of which, the Royal Road of the Inca, was 3,250 miles long, longer than the Roman road, which ran from Scotland to Jerusalem. All of this despite the fact that there were no wheels, no horses. The common denominator was the hoof of the llama and the feet of the Indian, and these account for much of the traffic even today. Much of modern-day Cusco is built on Incan remains. The Inca built almost entirely of stone, and with such precision, mortar was unnecessary.
Look at this.
The massive boulders of Sacsayhuaman were fitted together in a manner which speaks of great engineering skill and technical competence. They remain intact in spite of the many earthquakes that have twisted and heaved the ground beneath. Sacsayhuaman was a fortress designed by the builders to guard and control an important mountain pass leading to the city of Cusco. In the center of the fortress, we find additional evidence of engineering genius. A water system that has lasted for centuries and is still intact.
Okay.
We may think of brain surgery as a rather recent accomplishment.
Okay.
But skulls have been found in ancient Peruvian.
Yeah, that's one of those things you're like, oh, that's new, fairly new, right?
Evidence not only of brain surgery, but of bone regeneration
No, actually.
following surgery. In other words, successful brain surgery was realized even before the time of Christ.
Before the time of Christ. So it's
Japan
BC.
was amazingly well developed as a surgical technique, allowing bone removal from the skull in a number of different ways. The bronze instruments used were well designed. Recently, these ancient instruments were used by a South American surgeon. When the patient died some 4 years later from an unrelated cause, the skull was carefully examined. Bone regeneration was evident. The operation had been a complete success, as had many operations performed with similar instruments thousands of years ago.
So.
Echo through the mountains here, as they must have during ancient religious festivals. They remind us of the close of another era, a mysterious chapter in the history of the Incas. For this is the city of Machu Picchu, a fortress sanctuary, a hideaway on the top of a mountain. Because Machu Picchu was to remain isolated from the rest of the world, it was carefully planned to be self-sufficient. Terraced fields were built for the growing of needed food. Rain was plentiful. Stone flumes carried spring water to every home. In fact, Machu Picchu was a city of stone. Stone that was quarried a considerable distance away, up the Urubamba Gorge, and then somehow taken to the top of the mountain. There it was generously used for building palaces, temples, gabled houses,
That's cool. You can kick people off.
stairways, and at least in those last days, there were torture chambers.
2 torture scenes.
And
Because they very much thought that you needed to, or for sacrifices where they thought that human sacrifices were like, you need at least one human sacrifice of whatever. To like please the gods. I don't know. It's a bunch of hooey balooey, to be honest, but you know. It's fine enough, I guess. I don't know.
Even though the Incas were almost certain to have had enemies, it is doubtful that the alarm sounded often for Machu Picchu, because the location of the fortress virtually guaranteed security. On 3 sides, access was denied by sheer cliffs, plunging down 2,000 feet to the Urubamba River. On the one remaining side, there was a mountain. But all this security merely destined Machu Picchu to become a symbol of a last retreat. Because in spite of its intelligent organization and great military strength, the Inca civilization was unable to guard itself from corruption within. There was no security against lust for power among the rulers, or hatred and violence among the people themselves. And in the early 1500s, a divided kingdom collapsed. All the realm, that is, except Machu Picchu. The Spanish never knew it existed.
Wow.
A group of chosen women called the Virgins of the Sun lived out their lives here in utter seclusion after the empire had fallen. Then for centuries, the city remained as you see it, silent and empty, to be discovered by accident in the year 1903. Machu Picchu, a mysterious monument to architectural genius, a building accomplishment never duplicated by another civilization. So what of the Quechua, this descendant of such an accomplished people? Which way has he traveled? Again, the evidence points to down, not up. Are these isolated cases, or are we dealing with a universal principle? Something so basic that it cannot be ignored. To answer this question, it is necessary first to plot the technical and cultural achievements of various civilizations against the time span of recorded history.
Oh, he's like
And
one
then
valid
using
website, is
this
that it?
data, establish the pattern for an average civilization. In the average civilization, there
Can I
is
do
a
this?
gradual rise to a peak of accomplishment, followed by a somewhat sudden collapse. Comparing individual civilizations to this average
Try this before I
will
thought.
reveal how closely they conform
Oh wait,
to the
maybe I
norm.
can do something here.
Egypt, land of the pharaohs, and the world's first centralized
Can I do this? Yeah. Enter a name under 30 characters. Okay, so get rid of this one. Enter a valid website.
Babylon,
YouTube, you dum-dums.
contributor to the development of the sundial, the potter's wheel, the ball, the dome, and the arch.
You're kidding me, right?
Phoenicia, a nation
There.
of commerce and source
There.
of the
Well, now let me
English
see.
alphabet.
There we go. We'll do this, and we'll see where that can to my channel.
Greece,
What?
birthplace of democracy,
I'm really confused right now.
land of Pythagoras,
What the heck just
Socrates,
happened here?
Plato and Aristotle.
What? This is my. Wow. Okay. Go back to this.
Rome,
This.
all her vaunted legions could not stop the decay from within. Inca, outstanding for its organizational and engineering skills.
Yeah. Okay.
Maya,
What?
intellectual giants.
What's
of
going on
Central
here?
America.
What is going on here? What? Responding for one thing. Okay.
Why this pattern? Why should civilization after civilization rise to heights of magnificence?
Here comes the
only
part
to
where it's
suffer
like, oh gosh.
devastating collapse?
Not like bad, but it's
For
very.
centuries, it was assumed that the prime factor in the fall of civilizations was moral and spiritual decay.
Okay, fine.
However, about a century ago, there began a concerted effort to demonstrate that factors other than moral and spiritual decadence were of primary importance. Factors such as widespread epidemics, change in trade routes, agricultural depletion, earthquakes, famine, disrupted ecology, or any one of a dozen other reasons, that these were responsible for the downfall. Now, there can be no question that many of these factors have been involved in the downfall of civilization. But once again, were they the primary cause? It is interesting to note that when a civilization is in the vigor of its ascendancy, these very things many times stimulate and strengthen rather than overwhelm. But then there comes that time when a civilization is no longer able to meet the challenge. When the moral and spiritual foundation, so necessary for a civilization to thrive, becomes eroded. And when that happens, the least type of adversity can cause it to topple. One thing then comes through loud and clear. The idea of ever onward and upward is just not borne out by past history. Time is not the
Should be
same.
my channel.
To the evidence of history
Come on.
can be added the clear statement
There we go. Got
of
him.
the Bible, the
That's what I
infallible
want.
Word of God.
No, come on. Someone come.
This book
please.
teaches time and again the
Someone else
cause
show up
and
to my
effect
live stream, please.
relationship
I don't like
of
having
moral
nobody.
and spiritual
It's
corruption
weird.
to a
I'm talking to
civilization's
nobody.
collapse.
See, look.
According to this
Yeah,
book,
and the whole thing comes up with
nations
the Bible
and
thing.
civilizations fall
The Christian Bible thing.
because they as a people turn from God and from His law and attempt to build an adequate way of life according to their own efforts. The cycle of collapse we see in history is the inevitable result of that course of action. But there is an alternative. If the cause of collapse is turning from God, the cure is turning to God.
I keep Instagram open.
To the nation Israel, God said, "If my my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land.
They're not coming, but they're mine.
God's remedy works for nations because it is
Can I edit this?
formulated to meet the need of the individual. What, after all, are empty cities, but the sum total of individual empty lives?
Can I edit this? No.
Pascal, the world-renowned French philosopher and mathematician, said, "There is a God-shaped vacuum in
Come on.
every heart. And of course, only God can fill that. So if your life is empty, just as empty and desolate as the empty cities that dot our world, turn to God. In a direct, deliberate act of the will,
You take out this whole like
ask
last
Jesus
5
Christ,
minutes,
God's
10
Son,
minutes, and you just
your
go,
personal
okay,
Savior
like
and Lord.
it can be any random
And Christ will
Christian
change
or
the whole direction of
science
your life.
thing, or any random science like
From a
tape.
demoralizing descent to a dynamic ascent. Jesus Christ stands ready at this very moment to fill your life with his liberating truth and love.
See, it's like very
The
like
Bible says,
it's also in your face,
"If any man be in Christ, he is a new creation.
right in your face, like
Old things are passed away, and all things have become new." Think what this could mean to you as an individual. Think what this could mean to all of us as a nation. And just think what this could mean to our world today.
I can't. Oh, what the can yes and yes. Okay, so it's over. This is over. So we're gonna stop this. Let me just rewind this quickly, and then we'll set up the next thing, which I have set up right here. We'll get this set up. I don't know how this is gonna look, but we'll see. 'Cause we're gonna watch a DVD, people, and you'll see what it is in a sec.